Look at this. This used to be a 7-story apartment building. This man's entire family lived in it. My family is all gone. We had 15 people and only 3 are left. Myself and my brother. My brother is now searching through the debris. Buried under this rubble are his parents, his sister, her little children, and his brother's wife and children. As I'm saying this, my mouth gets dry from the sheer horror of it. He is still hoping that he might find someone alive. I don't feel anything. I hope we'll find them alive, because if they're dead, we're as good as dead too. For 2 nights in a row, he's been going through the rubble with his brother, trying to catch the faintest of sounds coming from below. Even the weakest sound might be signaling about someone trapped inside and asking for help. This report was made by Alexandra Sabynina. She hurried to be among the first on the scene and did her best.
On February 6th at 4 a.m., this area in southeastern Turkey was hit by a series of earthquakes. The most powerful one was a 7.8 magnitude earthquake that is now confirmed to be the deadliest quake of all time to ever hit the country. It took thousands of lives in a matter of seconds, leaving tens of thousands shelterless. This is Alexandra Sabynina for the People Project reporting from Turkey.
Dear people, the tragedy that struck Turkey is a tragedy that we fully share and mourn. It took the lives of the loved ones of our friends from Cappadocia, who also contributed to this report. We went to help them with the rescue efforts in order to tell the world their story.
I am in Adıyaman walking towards the epicenter. The city had crumbled into ruins overnight. There are piles of debris everywhere. As I walk, I notice a man on a bed by the entrance to a bakery. Both his head and arm are wounded, dressed in bandages. This bakery is one of the few buildings left standing, and people have set up a field hospital here, delivering wounded victims in need of help.
He spent 2 days under before he was rescued.
This man spent 2 days under the rubble. Now he's laying in bed and crying, and that's all he can do. This boy in a yellow jacket is his nephew, while his son, also just a boy, is buried under the rubble.
His father is missing too. They haven't found him yet.
The hospitals are out of beds, so people get discharged after checkups or surgeries and taken to places like this cafe where they have any kind of heating. Or, like in this case, they have made a fire to keep the wounded people warm. This is a nightmare to behold. People get discharged from hospitals into the streets, but sadly, they have no other choice because hospitals in this city and everywhere else are overbooked, and they have to resort to measures like this. This is hell on earth. All the power lines are down. Everything has been destroyed. people used power generators, and they're being delivered here from all over the country. Throughout the city, there are spots where the rescue teams are working and using power generators, and people come here to charge their phones and whatever other devices they need. Right here on the ground, almost all the gas stations are closed. All the other places they used to offer customer services are closed. Some of them still have power lines, and people go there to charge their devices too. This gas station provides electricity to public via dozens of extension cords. The power supply is weak, and people spend hours sitting or standing around, waiting for their phones to charge so they can call their loved ones. All the rubble, all the destroyed homes are now just piles of shattered glass, concrete, and steel. And it feels like this city hasn't slept ever since the disaster hit it. The sirens have been on pretty much all the time, although not so much lately because as time goes, chances of finding someone alive under the debris are dwindling. This machine is operated by the Turkish military. They've also been here to help clear the rubble because the rescue teams are overstretched already. These women, wrapped in blankets, are weeping over the ruins of their homes. Their children are buried under them. The rescue came too late. They collected some of their belongings: a pink backpack, definitely a girl's, a school bag, some jammies, and a teddy bear. That's all that is left of the nursery now. The nights are freezing cold, and people burn fires in the streets to stay warm. Everyone comes here, old and young. They are survivors, but none of them seem to be able to celebrate it because each of them has someone dear buried under the debris around them. There are no words to describe the situation because all this enormous mass of metal, concrete, all the debris are basically a mass grave. And the people who have come here are still hoping that maybe someone of their loved ones can still be found and saved despite all odds.
Please, let's stay calm and focused.
One rescue team is particularly big. These men know for sure there is a little girl under the rubble who is still alive, and she needs their help. They are removing the debris piece by piece, making a narrow tunnel. It feels like it's taken them forever to make any progress. They have to take a step at a time. One wrong move, and the rubble can collapse and bury the child. The rescue team asks for the car parked nearby to be moved in order to make way for the ambulance, and a crowd of men jump to their feet to help. Finally, they manage to dig deep enough into the rubble. Everyone holds their breath. At long last, they deliver a girl to the ground. She is about 10 years old. She's alive, but very scared. Her name is Zahide. She survived because she got trapped next to a boiler that kept working all this time, keeping her warm. A miracle, no less. Her mother was right next to her. but she didn't survive. This is Murad. He is a tour guide and he speaks Russian. Right now, we are in Nevşehir, Cappadocia. Murad and his friend are packing up to head for one of the cities affected by the earthquake. Their friends, also tour guides, were there at the time. The hotel they were staying at had collapsed in a matter of minutes.
They need help, so we're going to help.
He's been visibly stressed and grief-stricken ever since the quake. He hopes that his friends are still alive and that he can help rescue them from under the rubble. Murad is going together with his friend Yunus, also a tour guide. Yunus is very worried. He keeps calling his friends every hour. The phones are switched off, and that leaves a tiny bit of hope. Maybe they're still alive. They are stuffing their minivan with essentials, food, and anything they can get. What are they packing as a priority? Everything. Food, blankets, everything. Diapers, women's pads, heaters, a power generator, winter shoes, and clothes.
Генератор, обувь, одежду зимнюю.
This big thing over there is a generator, right? Yes, it's a power generator. Also some pillows, wipes, and clothes, winter clothes. They stuff the van to the brim. Heaters, a power generator, even some bottled gas, and lots of blankets. It takes the guy only 10 minutes to load the van. They are in a hurry, hoping they can still be of help to their friends who, as they hope, might still be alive. And we hit the road. There is a great number of vehicles leaving the area devastated by the earthquake, which makes me nervous, since if all these people are trying to leave, why are we trying to get there? The closer we get to the affected area, the fewer vehicles we see going the same way as we are. Trucks, vans, and cars are going there carrying food, blankets, heaters, and everything that can be of use. The transport leaving this area is mostly people trying to leave, those who have a place to go to and a car to drive. The traffic is extremely organized. Everyone is calm and composed. There are no squabbles, no one is trying to cut to the front or break any rules. There is an absolutely amazing sense of solidarity on the road. The traffic works like clockwork. Everyone moves in order and in unison. No one is trying to make other people's life harder. The silence on the road is only broken by sirens every now and then. Look at this blue car. You can see a pile of blankets in the back. There are no passengers, only a driver, and he's taking these things to help people. Probably not even his family, but just people in need. Whenever I see a car like this, just a man driving a car full of blankets, diapers, food, and stuff, it gives me goosebumps because no one told these people to go to the disaster-stricken cities and towns. They do it because they want to help, and they're willing to pay for it, and even risk their lives because no one can tell if there will be another earthquake or not. This is incredible. Every few minutes, we see an ambulance van rush by. They hurry to those who are badly wounded. With luck, they'll make it on time. The lines to get gas at gas stations are miles long. No one knows if there's enough gas left for everyone waiting. People get as much as they can. They even empty water bottles and fill them with gas. That's because, first of all, they can't be sure if they can get gas anywhere else as they go, so they try to stock up on it. Another reason is that they get gas not only for themselves, but also for the people in the earthquake-stricken areas who might want to leave but can't get fuel for their cars. The gas station is full of people, but there's no pushing or shoving whatsoever. Everyone is very organized. People are helping each other, giving travel advice, sharing shortcuts. This man here is holding other guys' canisters while they're filling more with gas. That guy has filled a Coke bottle with gas. Even that much can save someone's life. And under the circumstances, that's no exaggeration. Today is all hands on deck for the gas station staff. Even staffers on leave or off duty have come to help an endless line of people fill their tanks. We now make a stop at a supermarket. It's also full of people buying absolutely everything in bulk. This man here is buying a box of sunflower oil and at least a dozen of pasta bags. The stuff is literally falling off the conveyor belt at checkout. These men now need to unload everything from the trolleys, and the young guys here are rushing to their car with the blankets they have bought. The nights are freezing cold, and earthquake victims need them as soon as possible.
That's what happens pretty much everywhere in Turkish supermarkets all over the country. Ordinary citizens, residents of cities and towns alike, come here to buy pounds of bread, flour, oil, and all sorts of food for people in need who have nothing now. And that is not a coordinated effort of any kind. People do it of their own will. They come to the stores and volunteer to buy huge amounts of stuff, like Murat just did, and load their vans and cars with the purchases to take them to the affected areas. Volunteers keep driving to the disaster-stricken areas, despite the ever-worsening weather conditions with heavy snow and fog that don't allow driving any faster than 12 miles per hour.
10 or 11 towns are all gone.
Honestly, the total number of people who died in the aftermath of the earthquakes is still unknown. The latest reports that came in on February 11th quote 20,000 victims, including both dead and injured. But unfortunately, that's not the final count. The first earthquake occurred near the city of Gaziantep, not far from the Syrian border. It was followed by almost as powerful quake up north, closer to the central part of the country. The seismic waves were felt in Israel, Iraq, Cyprus, Lebanon, Georgia, and even in Greenland, even though it's so far.
As you know, a civil war has been raging in Syria for many years now, and the earthquake hit the area that has remained out of the Syrian government's control. The territory that has been devastated by the years of hostilities has now suffered even more from the natural disaster. According to the latest reports, at least 3,000 people died. The ongoing armed conflict makes it hard to deliver humanitarian aid to these parts of Syria, mainly because the roads are controlled by different factions at war with each other, but also because many roads have been partially destroyed by the earthquake. This is why the main bulk of the international humanitarian effort is now focused on Turkey rather than Syria.
We're getting close to our destination where Yunus and Murat's friends might be trapped under what's left of their hotel. The road is cracked and the ride is getting bumpy. Our van weighs at least 4,000 pounds, and yet it's still being tossed about like it's nothing. We start seeing big holes in the road.
Did you see that? That big hole in the road? Look, on your right. There's a car that fell into a hole.
After that, we ride a dirt road for a few miles. The road's been cleared of all the broken asphalt pieces.
They're cleaning this road really fast because it's a major road. Lots of traffic.
We enter the city of Malatya that now looks like a movie set for some dark apocalypse horror flick. Half-destroyed houses that can collapse any moment, black holes in place of windows, and not a single soul around. A couple of days ago, this city was full of life, and now it's completely dead. Not a single person in sight, and only some things remind us of the life that used to thrive here. Here's a car cellar, and this car is almost untouched. It looks so out of place here now, with all the destruction around. We have finally made it to Adıyaman. Murat and Yunus are very nervous. None of their phone calls have gone through, but now they're here and ready to help clear the rubble of that hotel. No one sleeps here. The rescuers keep working round the clock, while the rescued are trying to cope with what has happened. There are fires everywhere.
The sound of siren keeps going on in my head even when they stop. This loud, piercing sound is so persistent. I just can't get rid of it. Ambulance vans, rescue vans all hurry to deliver help and families to the victims, if they are lucky to make it. The authorities have forbidden people to stay inside the houses that have not been destroyed because the risk is high they might still collapse. But this family doesn't want to leave their home, and they have nowhere to go. They're now homeless, like hundreds of thousands other families here. We give them some of the food we've bought from Cappadocia.
And how many people here?
We are more than 20, I think.
And this is one family or?
There is 3, now 4 family here, I think.
These are the earthquake survivors. This girl literally jumped out of the window to avoid being buried under the rubble.
We were sleeping and I remember like my mom calling my name. She wake up before me and I ran. I don't know where, but I just ran and everything was at floor. We were just, the walls are just broken down on us. Our door was locked down. We couldn't get out. We get out from the window. My whole family get out from the window. We were about to jump out of the 2nd floor.
Navigating the city is hard. All the streets have been blocked by the rubble. Even the locals have difficulty recognizing the neighborhoods. People roam the city like ghosts, not knowing where to go. The rescuers are sitting by the fire, very quiet, almost motionless. They are not tired. They have failed to save a child.
They kept talking to him for 8 hours, but couldn't get him out. He was nervous.
Murad is also nervous telling us this story. A boy had his lower body trapped under the rubble, while his head was on the surface, and the rescuers kept talking to him for several hours while they waited for the heavy machinery to arrive to lift the big concrete blocks. But in the end, the boy didn't make it and stopped breathing. They covered his head with a piece of foil.
The fall over there, it covers the child. His head was on surface, and they have covered him now.
There's no one alive under these ruins. It's too late now. The works continue to extract the bodies of the deceased. The survivors are sitting by the fire, but can't get warm and can't get over their grief.
My blood, my brother, my cousin. May God help us all.
A glimpse of life the way it used to be before the earthquake. Some decorations, window curtains, a mattress. The side of the tragedy that no one can ever forget. A few more minutes, and we have figured out which way to go to find the hotel where Murad's friends were staying on the night of the earthquake. There is still hope, or maybe it's only fear now. It's hard to say. The machinery is not working. The rescuers are standing still. It's not a break, it's a minute of silence. That's what they do every now and then, to listen to the sounds in case anyone is still alive and making any noise under the rubble. A call for help or a moan, anything. This is the hotel that collapsed, while Yunus and Murad's friends were sleeping in it. We stand in silence too, hoping to hear anything. Yunus and Murad are looking at this huge pile of rubble. They are helpless to do anything about it. Yunus says nothing.
I just got a call. They've been confirmed dead. Here, father and son.